I've learned something. Once I start a topic to make a script on, usually one that I'm not fully engaged in or one that I'm hard-pressed to make any real commentary on, I find another far more interesting topic to cover. For this video, I was originally going to stray away from the normal content and do a criticism on The Walking Dead and its season finale. I had also considered doing something on how the LGBT community has banned drag queens from one of their parades. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Doesn't really leave much room for me to add. So what is the topic that I found? You might be wondering. While I was procrastinating doing one on a TV show review. Well, it's about racism and beans. And how everyone is overreacting to something so minor that it's boggling my mind. If you didn't guess by now, it's about Starbucks and the whole scandal they're going through right now. To start off this video, let's begin by watching a short 45-second clip that began the whole fiasco. Now, since this video is so short, I'm going to play it in its entirety and then provide commentary on it. It'll be much simpler that way, and I don't have anything to add while it's playing, at least I don't think so. Anyway.
Don't get into a fight with them. Don't get into a fight with them. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, what did they get called for? Because there are two black guys sitting here meeting me? Yes, I didn't know that.
Okay, I lied. We got through 17 seconds and I couldn't. Let's rewatch that interaction really quick.
What did they get called for? Because there are two black guys sitting here meeting me? Yes, I didn't know that.
So, the man asked the officer if the call was about two black guys that were just sitting there waiting to meet him. The officer responds by nodding his head and saying, yes, that's why, or something to that effect. Excuse me, officer. even if you're trying to lighten the mood by joking around like I'm hoping you are, that is not an appropriate response. Perhaps you were just responding to the general broader question of, did you respond because of two men sitting here? In which case, you're alright. But, and especially on the internet, perception is reality. That response will not be taken well. I strongly suggest to anyone else in the future to take note and not make a mistake like that.
What did they do? What did they do? Someone tell me what they did.
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
They did. What did they do?
Nothing. And the woman says for paying customers only after us to eat. They didn't do anything.
So that's the whole video. Now I'm sure you're wondering, what's so bad about this? It doesn't seem like there's any sort of resistance, no one's getting hurt, there's no damage to the property at all. I don't get why this is making such a big stir. If I were seeing this video with no context, I would think the same thing. So let's throw some context for flavor. The events just before this video was taken, allegedly, are as follows. There will be a link to a video below that shows most of this, but I would rather describe it to you. It gives me more ability to add commentary more easily. Two black men walk into a Starbucks. No, it's not the beginning of a bad joke. And upon entering, the third member of their bean experience isn't to be found. So they stand around and wait for a minute before one of them goes up to the counter and asks if they can use the restroom. They are then informed that only paying customers are allowed to use the restroom. An easy solution to this problem would have been to order a scone or a muffin, or even just a small black coffee, but instead the men decide to go and sit down to wait. While sitting and waiting, they see a white man go into the bathroom. One of them waits for the man to come out of the restroom and begins recording, and then he asks the white devil if he had ordered anything. The man says he did not yet anyway, but he was planning on it. They then go up to the counter and ask the lady why she gave him the code for the bathroom but not them. She then states that they can't record and that it's a private business, and justifies this by stating that she's the store manager. I want to go on a bit of a tangent right now and say that Starbucks is a private business, but the store manager does not own the business and cannot dictate this. It's fairly common for people to record in Starbucks. Have you ever seen one of Rick Lax's videos? I'm positive that at least one of those tumors is in a Starbucks. When you enter a restaurant, one that is open to the public, it is considered a public space. Only the areas that are marked private can be claimed as such. As long as you follow the guidelines posted on the entranceway of the business, no shirt, no shoes, no service, you are allowed to be there. Now, that being said, once a person of authority asks you to leave the premises, you have lost those privileges, and you must do so. And what do you know? This is what the store manager requested of them. She requested that they leave the store. Private businesses and restaurants have the right to refuse service to anyone. The store manager is often granted the rights and privileges of an owner with obvious restraints. I'm sure your mind is going back to the bit about recording then, but as I stated, it is legal to record in a public place. Starbucks, McDonald's, wherever it may be, is considered a place open to the public. It then becomes a public place, unless otherwise quartered off. Now, museums and other businesses get around this by specifically denying your ability to take photographs or record video. Now, I don't know about this Starbucks, but I've never been in one that has a sign stating you aren't allowed to record or take video. I'm no lawyer, and I may have gotten some of this wrong, but I believe generally this is correct. Now, once the store manager asked the man to leave, he refused. This led to the chain of events we saw in the video at the beginning. Before we continue, I should state that I don't agree with how the police reacted to this incident. I haven't seen any before footage or body cam footage, but it seems that they just go in and detain the men for trespassing. There is nothing illegal or unjust about what the officers did here. Ethically speaking, however, I do not agree with how the officers responded. I plan on becoming a police officer, and I was speaking to a friend of mine who is currently an officer, and we both agreed this is not how we would have handled the situation. Both of us said that we would have questioned everyone around to get the best picture of what happened that we could. After that, we would have made a decision. Now, I don't know about him, but I probably would have given a verbal, perhaps a written warning, and told the men to go to another Starbucks to finish their meeting. I believe the officers made a mistake here, making the choices they did. I do not like it whatsoever, nor do I support it. That said, I also do not agree with the store manager here. She seems wholly in the wrong. With the evidence presented, it seems that she may have discriminated against the man. I'm not positive on that, which deserves some sort of punishment. I would consider demoting her and moving her to a new store. This took place in Philadelphia. There surely is another one within walking distance. Have you ever been in a big city? There's a Starbucks everywhere. I would also consider firing this lady, but I'd have to ponder on it for a little while longer. Firing her would save the most face, however, so that might be the most publicly appropriate move. So what did Starbucks decide to do? They went all in on their apology. Starbucks is going to close all of their US stores for an afternoon and force all of their employees to undergo racial bias training. If I were a Starbucks employee right now, I would most certainly quit. I've had enough bullshit equality training from the military for a lifetime, and I would be irate if I had to go through more of that just because of some idiot in Philly. I don't even live anywhere near there, and I'm fairly certain no stores, at least in my city, have ever had this problem. You should not punish the many for the sins of the few. Now, I would understand if Starbucks had said, we're going to push this particular store through this training and fire the store manager that caused all of this. I would be in support of that. Not because I think it's necessarily right, but it's a good enough way for the company to save face. But no, it's not enough to just do that. They have to force all of their employees, most of which I would assume are just trying to get through college or just a little bit of extra cash on the side, to go through this training. Let's forget that most Starbucks employees are probably left-leaning, who are against this sort of injustice anyway. I'm not faulting Starbucks for that. I just find it hard to believe that Chad is going to apply to make soy boy drinks. So I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, people must be ecstatic about this. This is the greatest apology that pretty much any company can give, to make all of their employees go through training and lose profits for a whole afternoon. This is unheard of. This is one step below sacrificing virgins. You know, I would agree with you. But we all know how apologies with SJWs go. Not well at all. You see, this isn't good enough for them. They are actively protesting the specific Starbucks store that the incident occurred at. And you know what else they're demanding? That Starbucks shut down the store. That's right, they aren't satisfied. They are never satisfied. I find this particular image comical because have you ever been in a Starbucks? None of their coffee is black. It's all off-white, brown, or some other crazy color. I digress. These people are hitting Starbucks so damn hard for one employee who wasn't following any sort of code or any sort of policy, but was just being an idiot. Regardless of if she is racist or not, she was being dumb. Starbucks is one of the most new age SJW companies I have ever seen. This company is the embodiment of Tumblr. They do everything to pander to their fans and to make social statements with their beverages. And this is how they get treated for what should have been a small whoopsie moment. These people are cannibals. They will eat their own no matter what. This is the problem with them. They don't give any leeway. They see something they deem wrong, and they begin with their autistic screeching. I don't know why companies keep bending over to these people who are so unforgiving, who are so hard-headed. CNN also covered this story, but the actual article about the story itself isn't what I want to point out to you. CNN is a joke of a news organization, and I think we can all agree on that. I mean, let's just take a small look at their numbers there. Doing really well. They're CNN. But they actually did an article on why I tweeted the Starbucks arrest video. How is this something to be talking about with this? Are you really trying to make yourself feel better, Melissa DePino? Oh, look at me. I'm such a good person. I saw something in real life, recorded it, and put it on the internet. No one ever does that. You can probably find a video of every public arrest ever made within the last 5 years. Everyone has a camera in their pocket, and everyone is connected to social media. It really isn't something to be glorified or written about. I've seen videos of people taking shits, and they don't get articles. Get off your high horse, Melissa. Starbucks is shutting down every store for a whole afternoon. But these people still want more. You cannot apologize to them. They will always want more. If you are a large company watching this situation go down, take note. Don't let yourself be cannibalized or taken down because you try to make them happy. Because you will fail, and you will burn just like Starbucks is.
Well, if that hasn't got Oscar written all over it, I'll eat my invitation to the award ceremony.